Welcome to today's webinar, How to Adapt Your Business in the Wake of COVID-19.
Well, hello, my name is Brandon Schmidt and I'm here with Aimée Deraco. Both of us are from YDOP Marketing, a digital marketing company that helps home service contractors with their online visibility. We don't have to say this, but the first half of 2020 has been unlike anything anyone could have expected or prepared for. Sudden closures, restrictions, high employment have found us in a different world than where we were just a few months ago. And for plumbers, you are in a unique situation. People still need work done, leaks still need to be repaired, but it's nothing like business as usual. And so in this session, we're gonna talk about how plumbing companies like you are adapting to COVID-19 and to the new reality of the world that we live in. The rest of 2020 is gonna be unique, and you need to do your part in adjusting your business and reaching your customers in a new way so that you can continue to stay in business throughout the rest of the year. We first want to talk about limitations. Aimée, what have we seen plumbers and other home service companies face over the last few months?
Well, I think there's just been a lot of uncertainty, a lot of ups and downs. States are operating differently, but even counties within those states are operating differently. So it's been really a fast-moving, ever-changing environment. And I think for any home services company, especially one like plumbing that is driven in most cases by emergency service, people are, I think, very hesitant to call somebody to come into their home. And, it's making sure that the home services businesses are able to get the correct PPE that they need to make customers feel safe, depending on the regulations. If they're only allowed to do repairs and not, any type of just preventative, or I want you to come in and put new fixtures in my bathroom. So it's been, in some cases very difficult for a lot of the plumbers across the country to really understand, how can their business operate? What's the safest way for them to operate? How do they keep their techs employed? And what are the ramifications of sending someone into a home where a homeowner could be affected, or, a tech could be affected by everything that's going on?
Yeah, and you mentioned it as part of that is, people are a little afraid. And I think that speaks to the change in consumer behavior that we're seeing. That people are concerned about who is coming into their home. And I think that's something that might even stay over the rest of 2020. And as things calm down with the COVID-19, as restrictions are lifted, I think there is still going to be a shift that consumers are a little more uncertain. They want to check out, vendors based on not just price, but also maybe how they, are protecting customers. Can you speak a little bit about, some of the changes in consumer behavior that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think people are definitely being hesitant about what they bring somebody into the home for. Whether they have elderly family members, people at higher risk. These concerns won't go away. I mean, they're going to be here for a while, even, if they're feeling like we've got an all clear. I think that people it's going to take a while for our minds to shift, even if we see things shift around us. So I don't think that the ease and concerns are going to go away. So I think that, plumbing companies are going to have to continue to be very diligent and intelligent about the way that they serve their customers, because this is going to be top of mind for quite a long time. I think that there's a level of mistrust that consumers have right now with any type of business that they have to interact with. I mean, going into the grocery store or doing something like that, I think that it's a little easier for a consumer to feel like they are keeping themselves safe in those environments. But when you're bringing someone into your home, I think it adds a completely new level of fear for people. And we're definitely seeing that the home services businesses that are speaking very openly about it and letting consumers know exactly what precautions they're taking, how they are ensuring that the tech themselves is doing everything possible to keep homeowners and their family members safe, especially speaking about elderly or at-risk family members. If you know that there's somebody like that in the house, how you can take steps to, keep your distance from them while still serving the customer, especially if they have a plumbing emergency.
Yeah, that's really good to point. And I think one thing I wanted to bring out is the idea that, this is probably going to stay around for a while, even if things calm down or restrictions, or even if you live in a part of the country that hasn't really been impacted by this. There's still some of the mindset that might still be there for months and maybe even, years to come. The idea that, I want to not just make sure that my house is taken care of and that people are, the people that I hire that come into my house are gonna, treat my house well, but also, how is that going to impact my family? And are they being healthy and clean? What precautions are they taking to, to support my family? And if it's something that, you're not concerned about, as a business owner, or your technicians aren't concerned about, it's still something that a percentage of your audience will be concerned about. So you want to be empathetic to them, even though it might be a smaller percentage of your audience. You still want to be empathetic to them and to meet them where they are at and be able to address those concerns.
Yeah, we've really, one of the messages that have resonated and that we've continued to push out to our home services clients, especially in, plumbing or any industry like that, where somebody has to bring you into the home, but it doesn't mean they want to. It's not their choice. It's because something bad has happened in most cases. And, they just want to know from the person that answers the phone, they want to know that that person cares about their concerns, and they need that feeling of empathy, because we have a lot of business owners that think this pandemic is just a lot of, I don't even know the right word. They think it's just a lot of phooey, I guess is a good word to use, but your customers don't want to feel that. And you're going to have customers that call that aren't worried at all about a tech coming into their home, and they think this is all nonsense as well. But 85% or more of the people calling your business want you to take this seriously. And if they feel at all in any way that your customer service rep or your tech or anybody they come in contact with isn't taking this seriously, it's gonna have a devastating effect on your business. And we have seen that happen with some of our other clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. This pandemic is we've seen for a lot of our home service clients and plumbers, an opportunity for some of them to create new messaging, to highlight new services, new opportunities to get involved with their community. And we could be doom and gloom and talk about woe is me and how business may have dropped off, or some struggles that we're facing. But if we shift our mindset to have more of an optimistic and see the opportunities with this, we think there's opportunity for companies to grow, for plumbers to gain new market share and to kind of leapfrog over some of their local competition, to get in front of new people. One of the things that we have seen is, and we've talked a little bit about this already, but the idea of highlighting your new service offerings, or perhaps, how you're modifying your service offerings. We've seen in some businesses to go to virtual calls or phone calls to diagnose problems, go into FaceTime or, Skype or Zoom, something like that, to be able to talk and see video so you can diagnose the problem, perhaps without even stepping into the home. That is alleviating some concerns. Aimée, can you speak to any other ways that people are modifying their services, or how they talk about their services?
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of really innovative ideas coming out, and we've seen a lot of small businesses in the plumbing industry offering discounts and different types of waived fees for their local customers as a giving back to the community. So the messaging within the discount isn't just we're offering a discount, it's we're offering a discount because we know people are out of work and we know that a lot of plumbing issues are unforeseen and it's not something that you've planned in your budget when you're already losing income every week. So we've had some clients waive their trip fees. We've had some of our clients offer, 10 to 15% off of all services during the stay-at-home order. We've got just community giving back to the community, giving free services to a healthcare worker in need. So I think that there are ways to really elevate your brand right now, because more than ever, consumers are really watching companies. They're watching how they treat their employees. They're watching how they navigate this whole pandemic. They're watching how much they do or how much they care for the community. So the more you can help your customers make what you're doing affordable, offering payment plans, special financing offers on larger purchases like a water heater or another unforeseen problem that somebody now has to budget for. That's how in the future you're going to get your phone ringing. And that's how you're going to gain new customers today. So if somebody has a problem and they're going to Google and they're searching for a plumbing company to come in and help them, they are going to look for somebody that they feel right now has shifted their business to care even more for their customers. So if you can gain more market share now in the emergency service business, they are going to be new customers of yours for a really long time, especially if you've made this very easy and lessen the burden that they feel for having to make these calls. So I know it's tough. A lot of business owners have the mindset of we don't do discounts or we don't do that or we wouldn't make any money. But you have to look at the lifetime value of a new customer. And if waiving a trip fee or offering a discount for the month of May or the month of June, depending on your area and where you are with stay-at-home orders and things like that, the value of the customer over time is more than going to pay back what you might be losing in offering discounts.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Brandon, there's a lot of different ways to build brand awareness now and customer loyalty through all of this. Is there, can you talk about some ways that we're seeing businesses do that as well?
Yeah, I think that's really important. We're based here in Pennsylvania, and this is a state that got hit hard by COVID-19 and especially by the closures. So our government was very swift in closing down non-essential businesses, which meant that some of the home service industry companies were fine. A plumber can still go in and make repairs, but the restaurant community was devastated. And so we have seen, some plumbing companies and other home service providers try to embrace local businesses and local nonprofits and local restaurants, and providing, for every service call that they're also going to throw in a $25 gift card to a local restaurant. A way to kind of, not only try to encourage more business, for the plumber, but also to support a local business. Our communities are growing tighter as a result of this. People want to feel like they're still connected with the outside community or with restaurants or any other family owned or locally owned business. And so if you can figure out ways to continue to support them, and maybe it's even after restrictions are lifted, again, it depends on what state or your current situation as you watch this, but there's companies, there's local businesses that are still going to feel the repercussions of this for months to come. And if you can come alongside them and support them, maybe you send out an email blast to your existing audience, recommending the your favorite restaurants or your favorite local companies that you want to support, and kind of trying to direct some business there. We've seen some others that do giveaways, so if you are we just celebrated Mother's Day, and so there were companies that were giving away gift cards and different goods from local businesses. You know, you need to get a little creative, but you need to think of ways that you can support your local community. And again, it might not turn into direct sales. You know, there's ways you can you can turn into direct sales, but it's more of just creating good brand awareness, good community karma, if that's a phrase that we can use. But the idea of really just, you know, elevating your brand and giving the good, warm, fuzzy feeling inside of your audience, so that when it is time for them to need a plumber or to have work done on their house, that you become the number one, you know, the first phone call, that they become the brand that they think of when they need plumbing work.
Yeah, it's really unprecedented, what we're seeing, how much people are paying, how much time people are spending on social media. People are, you know, inside their homes. Any little thing that's unique or different is so embraced by people right now, because life is so different. So you have such a captive audience right now. And when you do something good for the community, I mean, I see it in my newsfeed on Facebook every single day. When somebody is delighted by a company, whether it's they personally touch them or not, they're sharing it and they're telling their friends about it. And it's, you know, Brandon called it good community karma. I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere, that, you know, even a local plumber that does something even small for the community. We actually, just a story unrelated to plumbing, but we have a memorial company who creates headstones, and they did breakfast gift baskets for 100 moms, and they allowed people to nominate them, and they sourced all local produce and goods from local farmers and local farmers markets, and built these beautiful breakfast gift boxes and had them on the doorstep of 100 moms on Mother's Day. And that just has been shared and went crazy on social media, because they took the time to really make a day super special for all of those moms. And I can guarantee you, while it's, you know, not your average business that somebody's going to be recommending as a memorial service, you hope that you don't need to buy a headstone anytime soon, but people are never going to forget them. So that might be an example of something they did that might be more costly and something big, but even on a small scale, something that really impacts people and makes them feel good right now stands out, and that's shareable, and they're sharing it with their friends and they're telling people about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. As we talk about, you know, reaching out to the community and, you know, kind of figuring out ways to support the community, and even, you know, how to continue running your business, even though business is not normal right now and might not be normal for the foreseeable future, it does bring up the question of how does messaging need to adapt? You know, and I think that's an important part to consider. You know, you can't send the same discounts out that you used to. You can't send out the same postcards that you used to. You can't, you know, rely on the same messaging. What type of tone should a plumbing company take in the next few months as they, you know, balance the idea of trying to stay in business and, you know, keep the leads coming in, but also wanting to support the community and, you know, trying to bring up the message that it's not, you know, business as normal?
Well, I mean, 3 months ago, you could send a postcard or do a Facebook ad or run an ad in the local newspaper like you typically would for maybe a lifetime water heater or, you know, a water softener package or something like that. And we found over the last couple months that pushing products like that have almost turned people off. And we've seen negative feedback from people pushing those messages, even for discounts, coming back saying, you know, people aren't working right now. Like, why would you be promoting that? So the shift really has to be, just like we talked about a little bit ago, what are people using plumbing services for right now? And it's typically when they have an emergency. They aren't necessarily 100% comfortable yet adding that water softener system or getting that new water heater if theirs isn't shot. So I think the messaging really needs to be based on the business people are searching for now, and that's when something comes up that was unforeseen. So making sure that you're out in front of that saying, we know that any added expense right now is very unsettling for people, especially with so many people being out of work. So we know you're going to need our service, and we want to make that as easy for you as possible. Here are the things that we are doing to keep you and our employees safe, always leading with those messages. Again, the empathy, helping people understand that you care about their fears, you care about their safety. On your website, front and center, when somebody hits your website, they should be able to very quickly find out how your business has adapted in the days of COVID-19 and what you are doing to keep people safe. If you're running Google ads, it's reading those ads and making sure that your content isn't content you would have run in February, that it's content you would have run in March, April, and May. Does your messaging and your ad copy relate to what's happening today? Same thing with Facebook. Is Facebook messaging adapted to today? Do you have pictures of your techs working in homes next to customers? You may not want to run ads like that. You may want to change those images to be more relatable to what's going on in our world today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I would also add that one thing that we haven't seen a lot of plumbers take advantage of is Google My Business. Your Google business listing. It's what shows up when you do a search for your own brand name. It shows up on the right-hand side when you're looking on your desktop or laptop computer, and it shows up at the very top of the search results when you're searching on mobile. And this is where you have your address, if you have a physical address, your phone number, and your reviews. And now there was a time where probably in March of this year that Google had stopped actually showing new reviews. So, you didn't have to really keep asking for those reviews, but you might need to adjust your hours, or you can actually add posts, COVID-19 specific posts to say that you're still in business, or here's the types of services that you're offering, and actually how you're modifying your services. And those show up very prominently when you do search for your brand online. So it's something we would definitely recommend you update and keep updating. Those posts typically last for about 14 days. So you may need to update it, twice a month, but it's something to take advantage and create some messaging around how you're helping keep your employees and your customers safe. Now, this of course assumes that you are actually marketing, that you're actually trying to drive new business to your website, or just trying to create new leads. We think that right now is the perfect time to invest in marketing. There are bigger brands that are pausing their ad spend, or they're pausing advertising on Google, Facebook, anything like that. They're freezing budgets. What that means is that it's an amazing opportunity for you to go in there and to gain market share. If your local competitors are not open, or they have modified services, or they're freezing their budget, it's a way for you to kind of get in there. We've seen, especially on Facebook ads, the combination of every big brand that has stopped advertising, every hotel, every cruise line, Disney World, everyone who has stopped advertising, combined with everyone on Facebook right now actually looking at it, means that the price per ad is just ridiculously low. And so it's not going to last. Once the big brands come back and start advertising again, the cost will go up again. But we've seen in some cases it costs pennies on the dollar for an ad that is going to generate leads. So Facebook is definitely one platform where we would recommend you actually investing in right now. Also, local service ads. Local service ads are available in certain parts of the country. It's not available everywhere, but this is on Google, and it shows up as 3 boxes that mention Google guaranteed. And so that is within plumbing and HVAC and a few other home services. It's not 100% across the United States, but it started in major metropolitan areas about 2 years ago, and it's been working its way through the rest of the country. And we've seen that grow over the last 2 months. That, you know, the more you spend on there, the more leads you're going to get, and the cheaper it's going to be.
Yeah, we're seeing for most of our clients in the plumbing industry, whether they do plumbing as a standalone or they're plumbing and HVAC together, for local service ads, you have to have a separate account per division of your company. So even if you offer electrical services, they would be separate. But we're seeing a cost per lead of about $22 and a conversion rate for the phone calls. On local service ads, you only pay when someone calls your business. And if that phone call is not somebody calling for a service you provide or in your service area, you will be reimbursed by Google for that lead. So you only pay for highly qualified leads, again, about $22 to $27 per lead. That can vary based on where you are. But again, high converting, and more people are using service ads over pay-per-click, which is the top 4 ads that you see on the Google search results page. So if you're not doing local service ads, we have seen over the last 2 months a huge jump in people using them for their services, especially in the plumbing. Plumbing is actually one of the best cost per leads and the highest converting industry within local service ads that I've seen so far.
Okay. What about mailers, print ads? Is that something we should be investing in, you know, over the next few months?
You know, it's funny because we've said many times, we've done different webinars for many different industries, and we keep telling people that there will be winners and there will be losers when we come out of this. And a lot of customers that we have stayed in the game with marketing, but a lot of their competitors have pulled back. Especially people that aren't using a firm and they're trying to do this on their own. When you're just trying to stay alive, marketing can quickly go by the wayside. But right now, you've got a more captive audience than ever. And if you notice in your mailbox, you're getting a lot less junk mail today. If you notice if you have a local magazine that is more of a coupon and deals magazine, here locally, we have the Clipper. I'm not sure, I know that the Clipper is in other states. I'm not sure if they're, nationwide, but anything like that, again, you have a more captive audience. I was telling Brandon earlier today that I for the first time ever am almost excited to go to the mailbox every day because it's just something new and it's something different for me to look at, and it's not on my phone or my computer. So now is the time really for your brand to stand out. Again, you can win more market share in the emergency service business right now than you ever have before. So I know it's tough because you may not be getting a lot of the bigger purchases, like a lot of the installs. But again, if you can gain more market share with where people are looking now, and in most cases, they're looking on Google. So if you are in Facebook, so if you are running ads within Facebook and pay-per-click, my suggestion would be don't remove those. And if you are not doing local service ads, do them. But direct mail right now is a really good, or even an ad, a print ad in a highly visible publication is not a bad idea, because in most cases, you could potentially be one of the only plumbing companies in that publication, just because so many people have pulled back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. We would also probably recommend, if you have an email list, to be reaching out to those people, and to even build up your email list if you can. Email is extremely cost effective, and it's a way for you to gain repeat customers. So you can do a lot with an email list, not just email them. You can also run ads to them. You can ask for reviews. And so, building up your email list, if you are not already building one, definitely start that as soon as possible. But if you do have an email list, it's an opportunity for you to share some of the community karma that you're doing, so it doesn't even have to be just sales and sales focus. You can share some of the news of what you're doing. You can highlight the steps you're taking to protect people. You can even highlight maybe some of the businesses that you like, so if you do work for a lot of commercial companies, maybe highlighting some of the work that they are doing. It's again a way to really it's an affordable way to get in front of people and to kind of build that community.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So as we wrap up this session, I do want to remind everyone that the last 3 months have been unique and unlike anything that any of us have ever experienced, and hopefully something we won't have to experience in the future. But it also leads to a lot of uncertainty. The next 6 to 12 months are going to be anything but business as usual. The uncertainty of the economy, the state of local health regulations, and the fear of some consumers are going to make 2020 a trying year for some companies, and especially plumbers. And it's our view that the companies that survive this are the ones that are going to treat their customers right, the ones that are going to treat their employees right, that are going to serve their community and are going to have a plan in place to continue operating and marketing throughout all of this.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Brandon. Like I said, there's some of your smaller competition unfortunately aren't going to survive this, and it really is a time for you to shine. And we've seen it happen. We've seen some of our clients that were struggling a bit who really stayed in this, and in some cases even put more budget towards their marketing, and now they're finally seeing the fruits of their labor, and they're almost getting their sales back to where they were even before this, because again, they're gaining more market share and they're showing up when people are looking for their services, and they're doing it in a way that make people feel comfortable, and they're doing it in a way that inspires people, and they're doing it in a way that makes people feel like they care. And I really think through this, that is, kind of the cascading message for everybody, is just show people that you care and show people that you're a good company and people are going to want to do business with you.
So thanks for attending this session. Again, I'm Brandon and this is Aimée, and we're from YDOP, a digital marketing company that helps plumbers increase their search visibility online. Thank you.
Thank you.